I'd like to welcome you all to tonight's performance of Who Am I? I Am What I Am, a performative autoethnography compiled and written by Dr. Christopher Cayari, a professor here in the School of Visual and Performing Arts at Purdue University. We ask you to silence all cell phones for the remainder of the performance, and this is also a reminder that flash photography and audio-visual recording are prohibited. If you would like to obtain a copy of this performance, please contact Dr. Cayari directly. The show will run about 50 minutes with no intermission. A special thank you goes out to the dance division, Sally Wallace, and the rest of the dance faculty for allowing us to use their space. And refreshments for after the show have been provided by the Purdue University Faculty of Color Network. Please sit back and enjoy the show.
As I dive through a stream of sea snakes, and I realize this river is what separates the east from the west. And I'm bitten from the east, which is present, to the west, which is past and future. I nearly drown in crazy time. You twisted like Dorothy. Crazy time. It's a nightmare technicolor. A choking orgy. All those fuckers I have bundled in my fantasies, turning blue, turning to the idol boy. They drag me inside, passing, stroking, asphyxiating me, till my heart is so palpable. I gotta go, gotta get out, gotta go, gotta go, gotta get up, gotta go!
Wait, please.
Don't! Go! To a tower of doors! In the pocket of my dress, I've got a copper key. Don't know the door it goes with, but the fact is killing me that in the pocket of my dress I've got this 8-inch copper key, but I don't know the door it goes with. The fact is killing me that in the pocket of my dress I've got this 8-inch copper key, but I don't know the door it goes with. The fact is killing me that in the pocket of my dress I've got this 8-inch copper key, and I go door to door to door to door to door. What was me? 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 What was Crazytown? Wardrobe like Lucy. Crazytown. It's a Christ-like allegory. Crazytown. But it ain't no Narnia, and there's no exit anywhere. I'm stripping clothes and stripping hair. Moonstruck and naked, I declare. No, this ain't no Neverland, Narnia Wonderland. Rise. And I want you to from the start and see. I am running middle road as I'm chased by a town psychotic. Beady deep, beady deep. There's a hole inside my brain. These thoughts are nonsense within. Alice in Wonderland, Lucy in Narnia, Dorothy in Oz, heroines whose experiences made more sense than the confusion inside my brain. Trapped! And there's no exit anywhere. And if I strip down and the world around me explodes, I'm left to see me. Only me. Trapped. It was idle wandering during a time of boredom where I discovered my sexuality. Sitting there, idly wandering as all others were away. Click, click, click. Alone. Click, click, click. Playing. Exploring. Click, click, click. Traveling to places a young teen should avoid. Click, click, click. Exposed. Seeing. Consuming. Discovering images I did not know were possible. Click, click, click. In a fantasy world, I found my sexuality. Intriguing, raw, uncensored. Click, click, click. Moonstruck and naked, I declare, no, this ain't no Neverland. Click, Narnia. Click, Wonderland. Click, Oz. Click. I do not know what brought me to those first internet sites on my way, AOL internet browser, but I do know that I was left to discover and explore and accept or deny my sexuality on my own. When I was growing up, there was no Will and Grace. Ellen DeGeneres was still pretending to be straight. And Neil Patrick Harris and Rosie O'Donnell were ambiguously non-sexual. I had no role models to tell me that gay was okay. The media was silent in my sheltered suburban society. So when I stumbled across gay pornography in my internet one night, my world was flipped upside down. Everything that I knew about relationships was challenged when I realized that two boys could connect with each other sexually. I was left to my own devices to talk to other gays in the form of disembodied texts in AOL internet browsers and chat rooms. I learned from a very young age how to live a double life. A gay life that manifested itself online, and a heteronormative life in which I avoided all references to sexuality. I was really lonely when I started high school. Sure, my virtual relationships gave me some connection to others, but human beings crave face-to-face interaction. So I was left to my own devices to human beings crave face-to-face interaction. So I found camaraderie and faith in God. I don't necessarily remember anyone talking negatively at my church about two guys that liked each other, but then again, I don't remember anyone talking about it at all. One day I decided I needed to tell people who I really was. I decided to come out. I look into your eyes and I see the pain you hold inside. Aren't you tired of the lies you tell so you can hide?
What if my friends don't accept me?
I know.
What if my parents reject me?
I know, but you won't truly be you until you can say, I am a Catholic That's me. I believe in the Holy Trinity.
1, 2, 3.
Shout it out and make them hear your voice. Your posse might not think it's dope to confess your sins and like the Pope, but this is who you are. It's not a choice. They say you're sleeping in when you're going out to mass. You cut school on Ash Wednesday, so nobody will ask. Your rosary's hid in your sock drawer. You sneak in the church through the back door. Time to break out and break free and finally say, I am a Catholic and proud. Sing it strong and sing it loud. I won't deny that God meant me to be. Every night you kneel and pray. Stand up and be counted today. Out of the cloisters and into the streets.
Into the streets, we are your teachers and your doctors and your Burger King cashiers. We're your receptionists, your interns and your Amtrak engineers. We are your lawyers and your tour guides and your actors,
your directors on TV.
We are your parents and your mothers and your children.
And me. I am a Catholic, yes I am. Long live the Vatican. God doesn't make mistakes and he made me. Oh, let out what you trapped inside. Come on and show your Catholic pride.
That's how you were meant to be.
I am a Catholic, and I'll burn too great to ignore. And I'm not gonna hold it back no more. No, you won't deny me. C-A-T-H-L-I-C, Catholic with a capital C. That's how we were meant. Oh, that's how you were meant. Oh, that's how I was made. To whoa, yeah, la da, to be. I look into your eyes, and I see the pain that you hold inside. Aren't you tired of the lies you tell so you can hide? You won't be you until you can say, I am. I'm what? Pretending? Genuine. Alone. Surrounded. Certain. Confused. Hiding. Exposed. Unaware. Unaware of the pain, unaware of the hatred, unaware of the sorrow, the heartache, the struggle, the prejudice, uncertainty, incompatibility. The binaries become more prominent. The more I love God, the more I hate my sexuality. Right and wrong, good and bad, Christian and gay. You know, God wants more for you than this. Of course I do. He has a wife picked out just for you. Of course he does. I'll never give up on you. Of course you won't. Of course. Of course. Of course. No longer alone. The love of people replacing the disembodied texts. I am a Christian. Yes, I am. God doesn't make mistakes, and he made me. Let out what you've trapped inside. Come on and show your Christian pride. That's how I was meant to be. But living a double life is no easy way to live. As my faith grew, I questioned my sexuality. The words of Jesus rang loudly in my ear. No one can serve two masters. So for years, I suppressed my feelings for other men. I even tried dating a few women, but that always ended with me hurting their feelings after the first date. I realized as I began to accept myself and my sexuality, I questioned my faith. Everything's an act when you're pleasing everyone, and he assumes that role to such renown. He plays a perfect part straight from his heart, knowing the risk he takes and hoping that the house is not brought down. The role of a lifetime is living a fantasy, that you struggle to erase. Thoughts battle words over deeds, or with such casualties, all played out behind a smiling face. God, I need your guidance. Tell me what it means to live a life where nothing's as it seems. Spending days in silent fear, and spending nights in lonely prayer, hoping that one day when you wake, those feelings won't be there. So confused because I feel complete with him. When we're alone, it all somehow makes sense. For some compromise, remember the word forget, and try to bury something so intense. You learn to play the straight man, your lines become routine, never really saying what you mean. But I know the scene will change. White picket fences and a dog, a trophy bride and children. God, I know that's what he wants. But Jason, what role do I play? Am I a savior or a phase? Am I here to damn you or to help you navigate this maze? Or confusion is a crime, and so you fill your life with sound. And if you dance like hell, you hope you'll never touch the ground. What happens when the music stops? In the silence will he stay? One day he'll realize that these feelings aren't going away. So we drive ourselves insane, spinning circles in our souls as we dance around and play pretend. And once again, reprise our roles. You learn to play the straight man. Your lines become routine, never really saying what you mean. But I know this scene will change. Confusion, uncertainty, silence. God, I need your guidance. Tell me what it means to live a life where nothing is as it seems. Suppression, denial, anxiety. Live up to the expectations of others. Attain the dream. White picket fences, a dog, a trophy bride, and children. But what happens when the music stops? In the silence will I stay? One day I may realize these feelings aren't going away. Bending, ending, sending, pretending, overextending. Thoughts battle words over deeds. A war with such casualties. The denial of my heart's desire erodes my soul. As a devout Christian who worked at a Christian school, led Christian worship, and had plenty of Christian friends, I prayed day after day that God would take away my feelings for other men. Guilt and shame overshadowed my search for piety and holiness. The struggle made me feel like I was taking spiritual steps downward into the abyss of hell. But as I accepted who I was, I began to question whether my faith and my sexuality were really that compatible. The ties that weighed me to these two masters, the scales eventually tipped, and I walked away from my faith. But I found serenity in accepting myself as a gay man. I accepted myself as a gay musician. I accepted myself as a gay educator. But I struggled with accepting myself as a gay researcher. One day I met a fellow music education graduate student who identified as a queer woman. She and I had so much in common, including a fear of pursuing academic issues, LGBTQs in academia, because we didn't want to be known as the gay researcher. But as I got to know her and others like us, I realized I wasn't alone. I had found a community of musicians, educators, and researchers who told stories like my experiences. And I realized that I had been stifling my own voice. I had to ask myself these questions. Who am I? What am I? What voice do I want to portray to others? I had to come to terms with who and what I am. I am what I am. I am my own special creation. So, come, take a look. Give me the hook or the ovation. It's my world that I want to have a little pride in. My world, and it's not a place I have to hide in. Life's not worth a damn till you can say, hey world, I am what I am. I am what I am. I don't want praise. I don't want pity. I bang my own drum. Something gets noise. I think it's pretty. And so what if I love each feather and each spangle? Why not try to see things from a different angle? Your life's not worth a damn till you can shout out loud, I am what I am. I am what I am, and what I am needs no excuses. I deal my own deck. Sometimes What am I? The blue caterpillar would have a field day with this. What am I? No one's ever told me what I am before. What am I? I bang my own drum. I deal my own deck. My life is a sham. Searching, seeking, finding. I am what I am. I am musician, educator, researcher. I'm a researcher. I'm a gay researcher. I'm a gay researcher who writes about gay issues. I hate coming out. Every time I have to tell someone I'm gay, it terrifies me. Standing up in front of a bunch of strangers talking about sexuality, very strange indeed. But the lyrics of this song have become a mantra for me. I am what I am. I used to think that gay research would trump my other work. I sought to minimize my personal voice to let the voice of an academic shine through. But now I've realized that my voice is part of me and my work, whether I'm writing about LGBTQ issues or not. It's who I am. It's what I am. What am I? Your life is a sham until you can shout out loud, I am what I am. While accepting myself as a gay researcher was a long, arduous process, I always longed to portray gay characters on stage. It all started when I was 16 and my cousin invited me to my first Broadway production, Rent. We got to the theater at 6 a.m. and we waited. And waited. And waited. For 12 hours we stood in line for first row $20 student rush tickets. When the show started, the flashing lights, the heart-wrenching drama, and the powerful music mesmerized me. It was the first time that I saw two men kiss outside of the computer screen. It was the first time I realized that gay relationships weren't just pixels on a computer screen. 10 years later, I was cast as Tom Collins in a community production of Rent. It was the first time I was able to portray someone who was like me. What am I? I'm an actor. I'm a gay actor. I'm a gay actor who portrays gay characters. I am what I am. I've longed to discover something as true as this is. In my mind's eye, I stand there on stage, utterly broken for thousands to see. But never have I been able to express myself in this way. I carry the body of my dead lover across a stage night after night, feeling the hurt and sorrow of goodbye over and over again. Grief and pain overtake me and the character that I portray, but I have never felt this free. I've never felt this fulfilled. Just pay me back with the 1,000 kisses. Be my lover, and I'll cover you. Yeah. Open your door, I'll be your tenant. Don't got much baggage to lay at your feet, but sweet kisses I've got to spare. I'll be there and I'll cover you. Oh, I think they meant it when they said you can't buy love. Now I know you can rent it in your lease. You were my love, one love, oh my love. I've longed to discover something as true as this is, yeah. If you're cold and you're lonely, in my mind's eye, I stand there on stage, confused, longing, alone. In my mind's eye, I stand there, unaware of the pain, unaware of the hatred, unaware of the sorrow. In my mind's eye, I cope with uncertainty, confusion, silence. But as the music fades, I find myself searching, seeking, finding. Portraying Tom Collins helped me understand varied moments of my history. Learning the repertoire and developing my character provided a venue for me to understand my experiences and contexts. But as I was preparing to take the stage as Tom Collins, I had heard of a local high school theater troupe that was preparing the student version of Rent. I vehemently opposed the idea of high school students presenting theater that focused on LGBTQ issues. It was not their place. They weren't ready for the sensitive issues that my adult friends and I were preparing less than 2 miles away. They knew nothing about HIV, death, and the struggle for sexual rights. But now, I see how I was wrong. These students had the opportunity to not be silenced. They were allowed to see that relationships didn't always look like Tracy Turnblad and Link Larkin, or Maria and Tony, or even the dysfunctional Sweeney Todd and Ms. Lovett. A brave educator and his students went out on a limb to tell the stories of Collins, Angel, Maureen, Mimi, Joanne, Roger, and Mark. I always try to advocate for my sexual minority students, but as a young teacher, I did little to share the stories of LGBTQ characters. Through this research, I've realized that I stifled not only my own voice, but the voices of my students. As I went through this journey, I felt alone, left with no example of what it means to be a gay man. But I think that teachers can help by sharing repertoire that portrays a variety of sexual minorities so that students can grapple with issues as they find their own voices and develop understanding that is sensitive to all peoples. In growing up, there are no rules. There are no rights and wrongs. What a crazy thing it is to become an adult. What a crazy thing it is to become a man with no one to help you along the way. What a crazy, wild ride. Picture me, just another cool kid at NYC near the park in the Met. Life is sweet, Yankees in the Bronx, pretzels on the street, just how good can it get? Who'd have guessed Dad would meet a stewardess, Mom's depressed and her lawyers are mean. Now I'm stressed, life is a disaster and I'm cracking from the strain, going totally insane. And I'm just about to turn 13. I'm becoming a man. I don't know what a man really means. The rule book grows, but no one knows what all the rules allow. I'm becoming a man. No one tells all the scared in-betweens just how we should be strong, be good, with so much pressure now. One day it gets better, one day it makes sense, one day I'll stop talking in the frickin' future tense. One day in October, it'll all be great, and I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait.
I can't wait to come to your party. 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 I can't wait, I can't wait, can't wait, can't wait, can't wait, can't wait, can't wait, can't wait. 13, something is coming. 13, something is going up. 13, something is coming. 13, somebody's growing up. 13, oh, oh, oh. 13, oh, oh, oh. 13, yeah. The best and the worst and the most and the least and the crazy and the scary and we're just about to turn 13.
Thank you very much.
don't have pockets. All right. Hi again. So before you all leave, we'd like to make a special announcement. Broadway Cares is an organization that's very important to theater artists like us because it gives us a chance to use our time and talents to help others. Broadway Cares allows us to connect and work with theater lovers just like you to create an even bigger impact. The money we raise together for Broadway Cares will go to AIDS and family service organizations to fund life-saving medicines, healthy meals, emergency financial assistance, and more. Chris told me about how being in Rent was so meaningful to him because before each show, the cast members said the names of their friends who had died from HIV and AIDS-related complications. He wanted to make sure that in his performance tonight reached out not only into your hearts and lives, but also lived on through a donation to Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. At times like this, when natural disasters and negative political forces put the well-being of so many in jeopardy, Broadway Cares allows us to come together and make an impact that really matters. As you leave the theater tonight, you'll see our crew with donation buckets. You want to gesture? We accept all forms of payment, cash, credit cards, like the whole credit card, jewelry, children, ex-spouses. The sky's the limit. All jokes aside, any donation you can make is much appreciated, as it will all go directly to help those who are stigmatized and marginalized by HIV and AIDS. Thank you so much.
I'd like to thank you all for coming, and this project has been about 1.5 years, 2 years actually in the making, so thank you for sharing it with me, and I hope that it was able to inspire or inform all of you. I'll stick around if you want to chat afterwards, and if you are willing to help, we do need to put all this room away, so if you're willing to help, please help us with bringing the chairs over towards that door, and there are refreshments provided by the Faculty of Color Network, and thank you, Venetia, and the people in that organization. And again, thank you so much to Kat and the dance faculty for letting us use this space, and all of my colleagues from across Purdue. I really appreciate it. It means the world to me that you're here, my family, my friends, and all my students, and just thank you so much for coming.